Today I want to talk to you about object-oriented programming. Objects in code are pieces of code that represent physical or virtual things. So for example, a car could be represented as an object, a serial connection could be represented as an object, or a servo motor can be represented as an object. Objects are defined using the term class. You don't need to use this term in your own coding, but it's good to know if you see it in other people's code. A class has two things. It has properties or variables, and it has functions. The properties can be anything that is physically related to the object. So for the example of a servo motor, that might be a pin or a wire. For the example of a serial connection, that could be a baud rate. For the example of a car, it could be a wheel or the gas gauge. Functions modify an object. In the example of the servo motor, they could set the pin or turn the motor. In the example of the serial port, they could set the baud rate or write to it. Next, I want to talk specifically to you about the serial port. Now, the serial port isn't like what you've seen in C before. It is actually another program that is run by Arduino. When you call serial.begin, what you're doing is you're creating a connection to that other program. And you're setting the baud rate, that 9600 or 115200, as the communication protocol between the two programs. We have to interact with the serial program using object-oriented programming. Serial is an object. .begin is a function, and when you put the number in there, like 9600 or 115,200, you are setting a variable in the object. Serial.print or print line are also functions of serial. Print tells the program serial to print whatever you have in the parentheses. Print line does the same thing, except for it adds a new line. Thankfully, serial.print and printline are unique in that they do all of the data interpretation for you. If you remember in C, in order to print an integer, you would have to put %d. You don't have to do that when talking to the serial communication port. All you need to do is call serial.print or serial.printline and put the variable you want to print in parentheses. And that will do all the interpretation for you. Check out this link. I will post this on Blackboard as well. This has all of the functions available for the serial port. If you want to call any of these, you just type serial, dot, and then the name, and then parentheses, just like you can see here for serial.begin. I would highly recommend that you use this reference as often as you need to anytime you're using serial ports. You may find that there is a function in here that does the thing that you're trying to do without you having to do any extra work. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the built-in Arduino functions that are available to you. Again, this is a great reference. I highly recommend it. It gives you all of the native functions to the Arduino board. So you can see here, we've used digital read and write before. You've also used pin mode in your setups. You may also have used analog read or write when you were doing your sonar or other sensors. In here, you can find all sorts of functions that may help you as you are working through your labs or programming assignments. Finally, I want to talk to you about the example code that is available in Arduino. If you open a new sketch, go to File, and then scroll down to Examples, you can see that there are hundreds of built-in examples that you can use. One that I recommend looking at is down here in Digital and going to Button, and that opens up a new window with the button code in it. You can also find information on your Arduino code by going to your root folder. Usually it's labeled C on a Windows machine. Going to Program Files x86, Arduino, and then in Libraries you'll find all sorts of libraries for your projects. So if you are wondering what servo.h looks like, you can search servo.h and find it right here. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial, and as always, please reach out to your TAs if you need any help at all. We are always here for you.